Okay, tip number 1, here we go. First tip. I chose this tip because it will help so many of you right away. If you told me about one particular kid giving you a hard time, this tip is going to turn your worst kid into your favorite. I'm serious. You'll see how by the end of this video. This tip is going to be a great starting point to turn that problem around. If you have a kid who is flat out defiant, just says no when you ask them to do something, a kid who hurts their peers, hides under desks, throws things, I was thinking about you when I wrote this. If you have a kid who lies or blames other kids, if you have a mean girl who says you can't be our friend, if you have a child desperate for attention, running around and screaming during nap time, if you have a kid who's using bad words like kill, if you have a kid who says, I'm going to tell my mommy to kick you, if you have a kid who has to be first in line or they lose it, if you have a kid who covers their face and grunts and whines when you try to talk to them, this tip is for you. So let's get into it. This tip is going to help you with one child. So if you have multiple heavy hitters, pick one. It'll work for any of your tough kids, but for now, pick one and focus on making this work before trying to do it with multiple kids at once. Start with that one kid, your biggest problem that you've got. Don't be afraid to come back and watch this again and again too. It's good to refresh yourself, so click save on this post so that you can easily find it later. So if you could force kids to follow directions or force them to listen, then you wouldn't need this tip. If you could make them behave, then you wouldn't be here. But here's the thing. You can't make kids do anything. You can blindly threaten them, you can take stuff away, you can say it 10 times, but you can't make them do anything. And that's a big thing that we have to realize and accept. There's no way to overpower it. There's no way to force it. It's not a strength thing. It doesn't matter how strong you are. Getting kids to do what you say, getting kids to listen, all comes down to something totally different. It all comes down to your relationship. And it's hard to have a good relationship with these kids in particular, the ones who are acting out and misbehaving, because they drive us crazy. They make things really hard and they wear us out. And it's okay to say that because it's true. We start to distance ourselves from these kids in particular without even realizing it and without meaning to. It just happens. Even if you make a conscious effort to treat them the same, their behavior is making it really hard to do that. So it makes sense how you got to the place that you're in right now. But repairing the relationship piece is the only way to overcome that acting out misbehavior that they're doing. Here's something we may not like to hear, but that kid, the one who's driving you nuts, he or she has to like you. Like back in the day, I feel like people would say, I don't care if you like me or not. This is how it is. But they kind of have to like you. And not just like you, but have a real connection with you. If you're going to be able to help them quit their problematic behavior. If you're actually going to turn things around with this kid, it's going to start with how they feel about you. So as hard as it is, we have to kind of block out all the stuff that they've been doing. I know it's not easy. But we have to start at square one with this kid. We're the adult. We're going to be the bigger person. We're going to not think about all the stuff that they've been doing all year. We're going to forget about all that. And here's what we're going to do. What we really need to do is think about this kid just as a little human. Just remove the stress of, well, we need him to learn and all these things, and all the kids have to meet all these milestones, and it's just, he's messing it up. Just look at the little person. You and me, buddy. And what you're going to do is strengthen the relationship piece so that the other stuff can happen. Because without the relationship, you've got nothing. Nothing to build on, nothing to stand on. You have to reignite your relationship, and to do that, you're going to have some positive interactions with this little friend. Compliments are a big deal to kids. I think they're a big deal to everyone, and I think everyone should give more compliments. But back to the point, you're going to give this kid a few genuine, simple compliments. I like your shoes. Your hair looks pretty today. What a cool lunchbox you have. And you're going to notice that he might pause and look at you kind of like, well, why are you being so different to me now? And that's okay, because that's actually a good reaction. He or she is noticing something is different here. And it won't take long to turn things around. I'm talking within one day, you should be able to change this kid's perception of you. And that's the first thing that needs to be accomplished. So you've given a few compliments and the kid's feeling pretty cool about their kicks or whatever you've been saying. And the next thing is to have them help you with a special job. This could be so many different things. But you just want to find something that sparks their interest. What is something that brings a smile to their face? It's a safe bet that if you pair a job with a compliment, so you point out that you noticed that they are really, I noticed how strong you were, and I have some heavy books that I need moved. You could literally be asking them to move a stack of books from one table to another spot in the classroom. Simple, simple, simple. If they like being told that they're strong, they could move reams of paper from one table to another. Act like you need it moved and it's a very important thing that they could help you with. All kids want to be helpful. They all want to know that they have a purpose. They all want to know that they're good at things. So this is something that's gonna work no matter what. You just have to figure out what is the job that gets this kid excited. And once they successfully complete that job, man, you're getting somewhere now. And like I said, this strategy is very special because it's not just going to take this kid off the naughty list for you. It's going to bring this kid to eventually be one of your best buddies, like one of your little favorites. Even though we're not supposed to have favorites, you're going to have a good connection with this little kid. And this is how we turn our worst kid in the class into our sincere favorite kid by the end of the year. It's like this kid needed a little more of something different. And once you give them what they needed and you connect with them and you build your relationship with them, you're going to see so many qualities of theirs that you didn't even see before. Because they're no longer going to have the need for the misbehavior. They're not going to need to throw the tantrum to get the attention or whatever it might be, whatever they were doing before, whatever kicks they were getting from that misbehavior. They're not going to need that anymore because you're filling them up with just a few short moments of one-on-one connection, which is what they really needed all along. That's what they're getting now from you. A few quick pointers. It might not be immediate. It very well might be, but if it takes a little bit longer than you might have thought it would, don't jump to, it didn't work, it's not going to work with my kid. Give it all the time that it needs, and all you're going to do is keep doing those little compliments, little noticings, asking them questions about themselves, showing that you care and you're getting to know them. Ask them what they like, what they don't like, what they're afraid of, what their family had for dinner last night, what they like to watch on TV. Ask them what their favorite candy is, anything like that. You just asking these kids questions is a huge way to show that you care. You want to know about this kid because up to this point, you probably haven't gotten to know him or her very well because you're always chasing them around or correcting them or being frustrated because they're messing everything up. But when you can stop that cycle and turn it all around, a complete 180, and he hears you say, "What's your favorite animal?" Immediately that kid's brain starts going, "Hey, this is nice. I like this. This person is caring a little bit." And there's no set time that I can tell you that the kid will change, but eventually their perception of you will change. They're going to start reacting to you differently because you're treating them differently. Ultimately, whatever your kid was doing before, whatever that behavior was that we're trying to move them away from, whether it was defiance, just saying no, hurting their peers, lying, desperate for attention, disruptive, if they flopped on the floor because they didn't get their way, or if they were using bad words, whatever it was, once you implement this strategy and start to have a stronger relationship with this kid, the next time you see that thing about to happen, you are going to be able to step in and say, hey, bud, come hold my hand. Let's get a drink of water. Or you're going to be able to step in and say, hey, bud, can you come help me? I need someone strong. And you're going to be able to divert them from the explosion that was about to happen to something else. And you'll know it's working when you see them take your hand and walk with you instead of doing what they used to do. This is the difference. Now they will follow your lead. They'll take your hand because they truly believe that you care and because they believe that you're on their side. You're working together now. Before, you were working against each other and butting heads constantly. Now, you have a say in this kid's choices because he cares what you think. It is so powerful. And then as the journey continues, we have to show them that they're good at so many things because they probably haven't been hearing that kind of stuff very much. No one's been pointing out the positives because they were hard to see when the behavior was in the way. But little by little, we're going to build a relationship so that we can get the behavior out of the way so that we can show everyone, including the child and ourselves and everyone, that this child really can do what this child really can do and how great they really can be. Did you just get goosebumps? I have them right now. It's like my heart could just explode when these transformations happen. I have a whole section of my course where I go into detail and where I share a personal story of my experience with this. It's a tearjerker, but it's the best kind of ending for a kid who started out being the worst behaved kid in the class. And that's what I mean when I say the worst kid is going to become your favorite, because as you keep building your relationship with him or her, he's going to become a leader for you. He's going to show you so many qualities that you didn't even know were there. Oh my God, this kid is funny. I had no idea. And he's going to keep stepping up to the opportunities that you give him to shine. And together, as you two move along, getting to know each other more and more, before you know it, you'll be sitting there with a kid that you wouldn't even have recognized a few weeks before. And this kid will always have a special place in your heart because of the transformation that you helped him or her go through. You'll never forget this kid. And it will be for all the right reasons. I'm going to end with one final side note. First, you need to get the child to, you need to set the child up for success for the special job by making it very clear and being explicit about your directions so that the kid knows exactly how to be successful with whatever job you're going to give them so they can rock it. But if you give the child a special job and they don't do it right, if they start throwing paper or whatever they might do, don't continue to let them carry on. But don't freak out. Don't go, oh, I knew you were going to do this. Give it back. This is over. No. You just gently go over. You're just going to redirect them onto something else and say that you would love for them to be able to try that job again tomorrow. And you're going to go back to the compliments and go back to asking them questions and just getting to know them and showing interest, letting them feel the love from you before you go to give them one of the privileges again. But it's like now you're coming from a place that I know you're going to be able to do it. I know you're going to do it the right way. This is a job for you and only you, and you still make them feel worthy of that special opportunity that you're trying to provide for them. And this helps them to see, oh, she really does want me to do it. She really does want good things for me. She really does care. She is on my team. She's different. I can't wait to hear what you think about this. I know it's a little long. I hope that you've been able to stay and watch the whole thing. Make sure to click the save button so that you can easily find this post again when you're ready to try it with the next kid. You can watch this as a refresher. And if you have other teacher friends that might benefit from this, please send it to them. help me get out the word about the 100 tips that I'm working on for you. Thank you so much for being here. Share your thoughts in a comment. I can't wait to hear from you. Happy Easter.